Hello everyone. My last video, some people may be upset, angry of the information I'm putting out. This is almost like a part 2, but it's totally different from the last video. I'm using 2 different sources. This one is this man was saying that you can have a marriage contract even with a 1-year-old girl. A 1-year-old girl. Not to mention girls of 9, 7, or 8 years old. And these girls becomes their wives, their slave, their sex toy, and that's all this thing's about, is destroying the hopes and dreams of children. And where they get this blessing from their prophet Muhammad, is the modern model we follow. The guy was a child molester. He married a 6-year-old girl, claimed he had sex till 3 years later. That would make her 9. Am I supposed to believe that when these people just mentioned they could have a contract for a 1-year-old girl to marry them when she gets up in age? They can get her any time because of the contract. So people, this shows how evil cults are. This is a story of a girl. What you're going to see, her words been translated into English, but the words you're going to hear is how the children in United States has been molested by the Watchtower for many years to cover up. And I'm going to compare these two to show Jehovah Witnesses and other people how evil the cults are, and how some of these children, how their lives have changed, and what some of them did to end their marriage. So it makes you think of these people, what they have done to children, and how what children were smart enough how to do certain things to get out of this marriage contract. And the elders and Jehovah Witnesses are almost doing the same thing, destroying the lives of the young ones. And they wonder why children went crazy, destroying themselves, abusing themselves, so no other man would ever look at them. And some of them committed suicide. So we're going to play something about Jehovah Witnesses, and we will take it from there.
Filed a $10.5 million lawsuit Monday, among the first in Oregon to accuse the religious organization of hiding decades of sexual abuse. Attorneys for Felicia Alston, 39, and an unnamed man said the Jehovah's Witnesses leadership continues to cover up sexual abuse against children by leaders. They say it is more than a decade behind other organizations, such as the Catholic Church, that have been forced to address their problems through many years of civil litigation. View full-size Felicia Alston, as a child. Amy Green at Oregonian.com. There is a crisis of silence in the Jehovah's Witness organization, said Erwin Zakin, one of several attorneys representing Alston and the man. Zakin described the religious organization as more concerned about protecting its reputation than it is about protecting its children. For example, Zockin said the 7 men who make up the Jehovah's Witnesses governing body have a policy requiring a confession from the perpetrator or 2 eyewitnesses to the abuse before leaders will take any action. Even if they do disfellowship a perpetrator, they don't tell the congregation why, Zockin said during a news conference Monday in Portland. No one but the elders can ever know that there is a child predator lurking in that congregation. Zockin said Jehovah's Witnesses leaders don't call police. Rather, Zockin said, they take the position that although Oregon law defines clergy as mandatory reporters of child abuse, they don't need to report the abuse because it was a privileged religious communication. At some point, it becomes too expensive to keep doing this, Zockin said. That's what civil litigation is about. An attorney for the Jehovah's Witnesses, Mario Moreno, said he hadn't yet seen a copy of Monday's lawsuit and couldn't offer comment. Zockin, an attorney from San Diego, said this is the first case of its kind that he knows of in Oregon. His firm has 14 active cases against the Jehovah's Witnesses organization in other states that include California, Connecticut and New Mexico. Several others also are pending in the U.S. Portland attorneys Christian Roggendorf and Paul Mons also are representing the 2 plaintiffs who filed Monday's lawsuit in Multnomah County Circuit Court. The suit alleges that Daniel Castellanos, who held the equivalent position of a baptized ordained minister in the North Hillsborough Congregation of Jehovah's Witnesses, molested Alston in 1986 or 1987 when she was 11 or 12 years old. The suit claims Castellanos also molested a boy, described only as John Roe in the suit, when the boy was 8 to 10 years old. Alston said she chose to use her name and speak to reporters Monday because she wants to give victims a voice. She said filing civil litigation in hopes of changing the Jehovah's Witnesses policies did not amount to committing an act against God, even though her attorneys say the Jehovah's Witnesses might shun her for doing so. I know that there are other victims, said Alston, who now lives in San Diego. I know that you're scared because you're worried about being punished by God, but God would never do something like this, so it's okay to say something, because if you don't say something it's going to keep happening. The suit alleges Alston was kissed and fondled under her clothes multiple times by Castellanos, a piano teacher, while he was supposed to be giving her piano lessons at his house. She eventually told her mother, who went to the Hillsborough congregation's elders. Alston said the elders told her and her mother to tell no one, including police. Zockin said Castellanos was ousted from the congregation for 3 to 5 years but eventually let back in. Castellanos was married and had children at the time of the abuse. Alston said, she and her attorneys don't know how old he is or where he lives, but they believe it's outside of Oregon. They said they don't think he has any criminal history. Oregon's statute of limitations doesn't allow Castellanos to be criminally prosecuted because too many years have passed. But state law does allow alleged victims of child sexual abuse to file lawsuits up until age 40 or within 5 years of when they realize the damaging effect the abuse has had on their lives. Castellanos couldn't immediately be reached for comment. Several weeks ago, a California judge awarded $13.5 million to a man who said he was molested as a child by a San Diego Jehovah's Witnesses leader. Jehovah's Witnesses count about 8 million people within more than 130,000 congregations.
So, here, a mother, her family, believed when she told them that she was never coming back. She could not believe her mother was going to marry her off to these men to ruin her life, her dreams, her having education, and one day could settle down to have a real family and to be happy, not to be forced to these men that was going to marry them. So my question is this different from the Watchtower doing to the Jehovah's Witness children? The ones you just heard was just a part of children that's been through bad experiences with the elders, circuit overseers, and all these men. People, it's time to wake up. see the sadness in her eyes. Her parents was giving her away as a slave when she wasn't even ready to give up her youth, to become a slave to a man that wanted her to be his husband. No, her to be his wife. Jehovah's Witnesses, you need to wake up. You got so much evil in your religion. You fail to see the truth. You fail to see how dangerous the Watchtower has covered up pedophile. It's on the news. It's on the YouTubes. People have recorded the news. All you have to do is to click on and see them for yourself. You have to see the truth through the eyes of the young people. That this looks like a girl will be lying about her experience. Would be like a girl is in her mid-20s would be lying when she was a child. An elder molested her several times, fondled her, have intercourse with her. You need to wake up and realize there's no difference between this girl and the other children that grew up and was molested by evil men of your congregations, of the Watchtower. Please, do your research. Do like we did. Find the truth. It's not in JW.org. It's not in their website. It's on the internet. The real truth, how Watchtower has destroyed people's lives. Please, don't let someone else be a victim that would commit suicide, jumping off cliffs, because an elder, minister, or servant ruined their lives. Thank you, and have a nice day.